Welcome to another exciting episode of Snarky in the Suburbs. Okay, we're starting off strong with two Dear Snarky letters. Who's excited? Me, I am. Then we go to my peeve, and my peeve is old lady guilt trips. I'll explain. Okay, and then in my observation, I have the 4 stages that you go through when you know you're really old. Is oldness a theme? It is not. It is not. Don't panic. And then in the confession from the Snarky Confessional, y'all, I did the corn maze, the apple picking, cider juicing field trips. Well, now I have done a haunted house. So I'm going to tell you all about that. You're giddy, right? You're absolutely giddy. Okay, probably not, but just stay with me. Okay. As usual, let's start with the Dear Snarky letters. I'm doing 2. I'm not reading them because they were both kind of long. And, who wants to look at the top of my head and just see the fact that, girl, you may need highlights. So let's not do that. I may need highlights, but I'm not getting them. I let it go 4 months, people. It's expensive to get highlights. Plus, it's hard on your hair. So, here's the deal. For 6 weeks, my highlights look good. And then we got 6 weeks and looking sad. But y'all, nothing we can do about it. It's just highlight math. Because, like I said, it's expensive. And then my hair really does not like it. Okay, let's go. My first letter, which totally cracks me up, I got from a sister. She's in law school. And her sister is, I believe she said, 28 years old and has decided to run for public office. Like, she is indeed a candidate for public office. I need to make clear, as the woman in the letter pointed out to me, this is like city office where it's not like Democrat or Republican. It's non-party affiliated city office. So this is not a Democrat or Republican thing. So anyways, the election is November 4th, whatever the first Tuesday is. So anyways, she has not been helping her sister at all. She says, 1, she's in law school, and 2, her sister's a flake. And she says there's no way her sister should be running for public office. She cannot commit to anything. She never completes anything she does. Wishy-washy, all that kind of stuff. And she says the person running against her sister, or the 2 people running against her sister in this race, are far more qualified and have a history of public service, unlike her 28-year-old sister. And she gave some examples, like she never graduated college, like she dropped out twice, went back, never finished. She'll start anything she starts, she never finishes. She thought she wanted to work at a preschool. That lasted, 2 months. Then she thought that she wanted to go to school to be an LVN. She didn't make it past that. Then she decided she wanted to, be more artsy and do an Etsy. She never got the Etsy set up. I guess she was going to do crocheting. I don't know. It's a lot. So she told her family, yeah, she can run for public office, but, I'm not helping, because they wanted her to, do the yard signs and kind of go campaign for it. And she says her sister is so flaky that she did not even show up for like a public debate. Several offices, like, I guess from, one office had an hour debate and then the next people got up, whatever. She didn't show up for what she was running for, debate. The 2 people out of the 3 people, 2 people did, her sister didn't. And she said, I just forgot. So yeah, she needs to get that job. So anyways, the sister that's in law school, she says, yeah, I didn't help. I said, no, I'm not helping with the yard signs. I'm not helping with anything. This is stupid. And then her mom pulls the sister-in-law school aside, goes, you're being very cruel to your sister, and we should be supporting her, because this could be the thing that really makes her take off. Like, this running for public office is going to launch the sister into adulthood, and she's not going to be so wishy-washy and the attention span, I don't know, of a hummingbird. Maybe hummingbirds have long attention spans. I don't know. Let's change that to the tried and true gnat. She has the attention span of a gnat, can never stick with anything. And the sister-in-law school is like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do it. So she's like, I'm not going to get in the way of her running. She goes, but I'm not going to help. And she goes, and I'm not going to vote for it. She's like, forget it. It's stupid. This is like, these are important jobs, and people that are dedicated to volunteering and public service are running for them. So the election's coming up, and the mother then finally hit the head with the mom and the sister, and then the mom had a private conversation with her daughter in law school who's not helping, and told her, if you do not, this last week before the election, help your sister, campaign with her, door knock. You're not invited to Thanksgiving and you're not invited to Christmas. We're cutting you off from the family activities if you don't help your sister. So she writes me and she's like, what? I mean, blackmailing? I either help my sister or I get cut off. And she's like, what would you do? That mother really overstepped. I mean, the wishy-washy sister must be the golden child, because it's here's, like, let's break down the golden child a little bit. In my experience, the golden child is not the child that is doing everything right. The golden child is always the troubled child. So the troubled child gets all the attention because they're trying to help the troubled child. And in this case, launch the troubled child. And then the kid that's like doing everything right, it's like, no, we're going to kick you out of the family. So my advice to her was, I'm like, stand your ground. The election is in a week. Things could change by Christmas or Thanksgiving. The fact that you're not campaigning against your sister, the fact that you're just like, no, I'm in law school, I'm busy, I really don't think she's the right person for the job, so I'm not going to help. So what? I mean, you could actually just say, I'm too busy, and, so what? I think if this situation was happening in my family, I don't think I'd be mad. I would just tell the sisters, like, why isn't my little sister helping me campaign? I would just go, 'cause she's in law school, leave her alone. I would not blow it up into this big thing. Surely your sister's in law school and she's also saying she's not right for the job, but I wouldn't even get into that. I think the mother is freaking out. She wants her daughter to succeed at something, but meanwhile, she's punishing the other daughter. So, final advice, you don't have to help your sister. You're not actively campaigning against her, but you don't have to help her. Too bad. Your sister can do it. She's running for public office, not you. And, you don't need to help her. And the fact that your mother is doing this tells me one thing. And this is that your mother and your older sister have been doing this dance, la-di-da, 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 a very long time. A very long time. And at this point, I think your mom's throwing out empty threats. I wouldn't even respond. I would just ignore it and know that by the time Thanksgiving rolls around, and most certainly Christmas, you'll be back in the family fold if you want to be. But I also suggest having a conversation with your mom after the election, things cool down, and go, you can't be throwing out threats to disown me, okay? To not invite me to stuff, to tell me I, as a member of this family, can't come to Thanksgiving or Christmas just because I didn't do exactly what you wanted to help my big sister. So that conversation needs to be had, and then you need to update us how that went. But that's ridiculous. And if you don't think she's right for the job, you don't have to help her. I'm going to stand by that. And just blame it on something else. So there you go. You're in law school, don't have time. Okay, next up, we got a snarky letter from, gotta take a drink, and it is a McDonald's Diet Coke, so. And it was just delicious. So fresh. Okay, so it's from this woman. Oh my God, I feel so sorry for her. She got married, got a lot of pressure. She got pregnant. After she got pregnant, she got a lot of pressure from her family. Oh, move back, move back. Oh, we have grandkids now. Both sets of grandparents, husband's parents and her parents, live in the same town. Ton of pressure to move back once they had kids. So this woman, her and her husband go, yeah, it'd be great to have help. And, they promised him all this, help, and you need it. It takes a village, all that kind of stuff. They move back. Their help has been pretty much non-existent from both sets of parents. She's like, we uprooted our lives where we were happy. We sold our home. We moved back. And she goes, our parents can barely help us. So I wrote her back. I go, define barely, because, barely means different things. She's like, maybe, she says, every couple of months, my mom and dad will actually babysit. She goes, my mother-in-law, you have to schedule it like, months out in advance, because, she likes to keep an active calendar. And she says, like, she's getting, like, no help whatsoever. She's like, why are we here? At least where we lived, before we moved here, we had friends. She goes, so we're back in our hometown where we really don't want to be. She goes, we haven't lived here since we graduated high school. She goes, and just, I feel her pain. She feels like she was wooed. They were wooed to come back into the nest, wooed to move back into the hometown to get all this help. It takes a village. And now no one wants to help them. Yeah, that is a hard, bitter, bitter pill to swallow. That would make me very upset. So she she says with her own mom, she talked to her and she's like, you told us you would help us and we're here and you're barely interested, in your granddaughter. And she's like, no, I'm here to help. And she goes, I ask you and you never have time. And she's like, well, I'm busy. And she goes, well, why did you tell us to come and you could help? She goes, well, if you really needed me, I could help. If there was an emergency, I could help. And then she had her husband talk to his parents, and it was pretty much the same thing. Well, we're like a backstop. If no one else can help you, then we can help you because, that's what family does. So the problem is, in a perfect world, they would have had this conversation with both sets of parents before they moved. But as we know, with the wooing to get the kids there, they wouldn't have said that, yeah, we're going to help you, but only as a backstop. When no one else can help you, then we will step in. No one's going to admit that. No one's going to admit that. It's the classic family overpromise and underdeliver. Familiar with that? Raise your hand. This is me raising my hand. Yeah, I think with the first grandbaby, you just want the baby here and everyone here. And then when you're hit with the reality of taking care of said baby, it's not as delightful as you thought. I feel really, really sorry for her. And she's like, at this point, and she says, thank God they didn't buy a house they're renting. She just wants to move. She goes, we'd be moving back. We'd be moving closer to where my husband works. She goes, and I have a support system better than my family. And she's like, I mean, is that stupid? And I'm going to say my advice to her is, no, it's not stupid. It is not stupid. If your parents are letting you down after they wanted you to move back so passionately, do what's best for you. Do what's best for you, your husband, your child, your marriage, your future. Because the parents, you know what? They played their card that they're just a backstop. So if it were me, I'd really seriously consider moving to where I had a better support system. But I got this letter, and then I see that a lot of social media where people have kids and they move back home when their parents, can barely show up for a t-ball game or something. I don't get it. I don't get that at all, and I need people to explain that to me in the comments. Is it like, be careful what you wish for? So the parents wished like their kids were back, and then when the kids come, they're like, oh God, that's a lot of work. And I like the kids in small little bites. I don't like all this. So I don't know. It was very upsetting to me. But I mean, the first letter about the mom threatening her daughter don't show up for Christmas or Thanksgiving, less upsetting. Okay, to be sure, because we all know the mom's going to get over it. And, did I say that? This is what the mom is going to, with the sister running for office. Did I say that? Did I tell you not to come for Thanksgiving? No, you misunderstood. I didn't say that. I bet that's going to happen. As for this one, it's sad. And as someone who doesn't have grandchildren, but I can't imagine myself not wanting to just smooch that baby all the time. And just, I would have to try not to take over, quite frankly. Give me the baby. That's how I imagine I would be. I don't know if that's how I'm going to be. That's how I'm going to be, okay? Let's just get that straight. I'm not imagining it. I would make it a reality. Okay, so there are the two Dear Snarky letters. Let me know what you think. Now, y'all, my peeve is the old lady guilt trip. Okay, so I see in social media a lot, of course, young people complaining. I enjoy it. I'm here for them. I'm like, because I want it, as an older person, stay in tune of what the gripe is, with younger people. I mean, I need to know. Not just what my kids' gripes are, but, I need to know. So this woman, I've seen this multiple times. She's like, they're at the park, they're with their kid. This specific woman had dropped her kid off at school, took her younger child to the park. She's looking at her phone because she's scheduling doctor's appointments, on those portals from doom where you have to do that. And this woman comes up to her, the older woman, and goes, are you watching your child? Which one of these is your child? She looks up, she points at her child. She's like, I beg your pardon. She's like, you need to get off your phone and watch your child. Gives a stranger a stern scold about being on their phone. This woman was aghast and upset. So she takes to social media looking for some comfort, a group hug on social media. And all these old women, probably women my age, okay, just come for her. And they start saying, that woman was right. You need to get off your phone. You phone moms. And this is what's wrong with this generation because their parents ignored them. They're always on your phone. Just letting her have it in the comments. I'm like, that was not the warm hug she was expecting. She wanted an embrace, and she just got a bitch slap. So, to this I say, y'all, get off the old lady guilt trip. Let's be honest, okay? Let's go back to yesteryear. When I had my son, 1996, no one really had phones at all, okay? My daughter, when she was born, I had like a Motorola flip phone, like a pink Motorola. I thought I was all that in a bag of chips with that Motorola pink phone. I mean, flipping it, thought I was cool. Never mind that it took 10 minutes to send like a thumbs up, like, because all the stomping on like to send that. The phones, they're basically for calling. So you're not staring at your phone at a park. But these were moms at the park before phones. You always had one mom sitting on the park bench reading a book. She's still looking down. Eyeballs not on her kids. Of course, you had a mom that was interacting with her children. And by that, I mean probably screaming at them. Then you had moms talking to other moms, okay? There were not a lot of moms that were just, laser focused, interacting with their kids, three-winged circus, like, playing with them. Oh, my God. No, okay? No. You take your kid to the park, hopefully so you can just get a brief respite, maybe engage with another mom, have your kid play with other kids because that's good for them to learn how to do that. You got your eyes on them, but you may be also doing something else. So these moms guilt-tripping new moms, okay, about staring at their phone, you were probably the mom looking down at your book. So just back off, back off. I'm going to say no one wants to hear your advice. If you are a parent who has grown children and you think you did an excellent job, no one that is a parent now, in the parenting trenches, as they say, wants to hear your advice. Unsolicited advice. Sure, people may ask for it, but no one wants to hear unsolicited advice about how to raise their children. And who goes to a park and just starts barking at moms? Get off your phone. Get off your phone. I mean, uncalled for. Uncalled for. And, time has a way of rewriting history. So the moms that probably thought they were great moms that were constantly interacting with their kids, maybe I'm going to conjecture they were not, okay? They were not. They are rewriting history 100%. So you need to definitely think about that because it is so rude, so presumptuous to go tell another parent how to parent. And this is even like in the grocery stores or Target or something, where a kid is having a freaking meltdown. And you're like, my kid would never do that. Or you're thinking it, okay? I myself have thought that. I'm like, oh, thank God my kid never did that. And then I've seen moms like, older moms try to go help. And you just don't even do that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because maybe this child has behavioral issues. Maybe this child could have autism. Maybe this mom knows the best way to calm the child down. And it's not with a threat that you're not going to Chick-fil-A. Okay, there's a different way. And when you as a stranger insert yourself into that, you're just making things worse and you're just probably embarrassing the mom more. You just need to step back. So now when I see anything going on between a mother and her child at a Target or something, I just act like it's normal. I don't want to call it out. I mean, and call it out, I mean like give the mom some shade or just tough by with your card. No, I just act like it's normal. Well, normal day. You don't comment. You do not comment at all. So the people doing that in real life, in a comment section on social media, just stop. Parenting's hard, okay? We need to remember, those of you who raised our children, parenting is still hard, okay? We need support. We need to be told, you're doing a good job, or today's maybe a bad day, but I bet tomorrow's going to be better. Or do something nice for yourself, because being a mom is really, really hard. My kids are in their 20s, and I still carry a cloak of guilt. I am swathed in a cloak of guilt. I still question everything. Should I have started my son in kindergarten? Should I've sent him to pre-K? I didn't. Should I have done that? Should my daughter have gone to that college? It's so far away. Should we have let her? All these things you're questioning. Should I have changed her second grade teacher because she was kind of nuts? I mean, so all this stuff still plays through my mind. The cloak of guilt. And I can guarantee you my husband does not carry a cloak of guilt about his parenting, okay? I'm going to say it's predominantly a mother thing. So we don't need it. We don't need it. if you've been through the parenting trenches, just be nice. Or just better, don't say anything, okay? Smile or something. But quit interjecting yourself or thinking that, oh my God, phones have ruined a generation. They're iPad kids. Just don't. Just don't. Because, I could say that my son was a Cartoon Network kid, and I let him watch Tom and Jerry, which is very violent. He loved it, though. He loved it, okay? And, I know it was violent, but he enjoyed Tom and Jerry. So I'm guilted about that. Should I have let Austin watch Tom and Jerry? He did. But he watched, okay, my kids watched a lot of PBS. I'm going to dine out on that. So just let it be. Just let it be. And before anything comes out of your mouth, ask yourself, is this going to be appreciated? The answer is probably not. So don't say anything. Don't even comment on social media. I know you want to do it when you see this stuff. Don't. It does no good. If you want to comment, say, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sure you're a fine mama. So there you go. That's my peeve. The old lady guilt trip. Okay, in my observation, continuing the old lady theme, you're starting to get old. This is the first step of thinking, God, I'm kind of out of what's going on, is when you don't know who the SNL musical guest is. You're like, who the heck is that? I've never heard of that person. What kind of music do they even do? Okay. And then accompany that. Step 1B is when you don't even know who the host is. You're like, what? Like, what movie were they in? Are they a TV show, comedian? Who? You don't know them. You don't know them. And then step 1B is when you don't know the musical guest or the host. You're like, who are these people? Okay? I'm kind of out of it. Maybe I'm not as in tune with what's happening as I should be. Step 2 happens when you don't even know who's this person on the cover of People magazine? Unless it's somebody that did, I don't know, got trapped in a well or something, or save someone. You're not I'm talking you see quote a celebrity on People magazine. You're like, who is that? When the latest sexiest man alive or something came on People magazine, I don't think I even knew who that was. I go, am I so out of touch? I don't even know who the sexiest man alive on People magazine is? The answer to that would be yeah. Yeah, you are. Okay, step 3, and this really hurts. When you have no idea who's on Us magazine, because that is always a celebrity. You're standing there in the grocery store checkout line, you go, who is that on Us magazine? You don't even know. You've become Us magazine irrelevant. You're like, whoa. Then this week, I experienced step 4, which I thought, never going to go to step 4. I'm an informed human being on planet Earth. I'm never going to reach step 4. But it came for me. It's when you don't know who's on the cover of Southern Living magazine. So I got my Southern Living magazine earlier in the week. It's the November edition. Let me just say, I'm a little upset by the cover. It's the November edition. It should be like a big fat turkey on the cover, or a bunch of yummy sides, or I don't know, even 10 different ways pumpkin pie, or even a delicious pumpkin cake or something. It should just be that, but they have a celebrity. I'm like, who is this woman on the cover of Southern Living? How can I not know? Okay. I had to write down her name. It's a country singer called, I believe, Lainey Wilson, if I can read my handwriting. Don't know her. Do I listen to a lot of country music? I do not. But I'm like, what? Lainey, you look like you're a delight, but honey, I want to see a turkey on my November issue of Southern Living magazine. So, I don't know. And I told my husband, I go, I've hit stage 4 of being irrelevant. He's like, what do you mean? I go, I didn't know who was on the cover of People magazine. I didn't know who was on the cover of Southern Living magazine. So he's like, what? What are you talking about? And he said the same, what I was thinking. Isn't it a turkey? I'm like, no. So I get the magazine. I go, do you know who that is? He's like, no. I go, it's a country singer. He goes, well, I would not know that. Okay. But yeah, it was bad. It was shocking. And I'm upset that I've reached stage 4 of my aging process. And I'm also mad at Southern Living magazine. Give me a turkey. Give me the mashed potatoes, brilliantly photographed with that pat of butter, just a pat of butter in the middle of this fuzz. Give me a sweet potato casserole, okay? Give me some Thanksgiving trifle with pretty layers. Lainey Wilson, I'm sure she's amazing, but I don't want that in a November issue. And it also hurt my feelings because it made me feel badly about myself that I didn't know who that person was. Yes, I'm spinning. It's a spinning spiral, okay? Into me getting less and less and less knowledgeable about what's happening in current culture. And some of you may say, who cares? I believe you have to stay informed about what's happening in current culture. Not talking politics, okay? I'm talking current culture, music, movies, what's going on, that kind of stuff. Made me sad. And the reason I think you have to keep abreast is because you need to know that stuff if you're going to have conversations with younger people, okay? And most of the people I interact with are not people my age. They're younger people. So I feel like I need to know. Like I said, hurt my feelings over it. Now we're going to go on to something more fun. Once again, I had to have a sip of my frosty Diet Coke from McDonald's. Crispy. Okay, here is the Snarky confession from the Snarky Confessional. So after I did the corn maze, I think that was 2 podcasts ago, and the cider mill, full of vermin and something called a drain fly and snakes, I thought, give myself a little bit of time to recover. I go, I'm going to a haunted house. I'm going to check out a haunted house. So where I live, the haunted houses, they have a claim to fame that there's some of the best haunted houses in the country. And if you check out their websites, indeed they say best haunted houses in the country. I'm like, baby, I'm going. See if you can scare me. See if you can scare a woman my age. Because at my age, I'm like, this kind of stuff's not going to scare me. I was indeed scared because the price for a ticket to get into a haunted house, oh my God. I'm like, am I a Disney facility, okay? A Disney property? Why am I paying this much to go to a haunted house, which is for real just a crappy old warehouse in the middle of a old warehouse district where nothing good happens, okay? Nothing good happens. So that's scary. But the house itself, I'm just going to tell you, amateur hour, okay? All right, let's start with the entrance. Okay, so people are out front being really scary, putting stuff in their mouths they shouldn't be putting in, trying to scare you like fire. And this one guy was pretending he had a rat or something. And does that scare me? No. All I think about is their oral health. Okay, oral health is very important. I wanted to walk up to them and say, don't compromise your oral health. Are you brushing? Are you flossing? You could really be messing up your mouth with what is going on there. So I was more concerned about that. I did not share that with these people because I'm sure they didn't want to hear it. But it wasn't scary to me. It was more as I had motherly concern. Let's put it that way. If you want to put a rodent in your mouth, you need to think about the long-term effects of said rodent in mouth. All right. And I hope as soon as Halloween comes, they have a dental appointment on November 1st. A checkup. A deep clean at the dentist. Okay, so wasn't scared at all. So then you walk in, and first thing they do, okay, they've got the creepy people, devil, all that kind of stuff. Spooky music, really dark, is a jump scare. You get in there, and they're going to do a jump scare. I'm like, sweetheart, many things might cause me to do a jump scare, but this isn't. Because it's not going to scare me. Somebody coming up to me going, "Blah!" is not going to scare me. Because anyone that's parented had years of their life with kids walking into their room. You're sleeping, middle of the night, you're exhausted, and your kid's waking you up and scaring you. What? From a deep sleep. Haunted house jump scare? Please. And then as your kids get older, you have the middle of the night phone call from a kid, and the only thing you think is dead, near death, hospitalized. And you're like, blah! That's a jump scare, people. That phone call, that's a jump scare. That 2 a.m. phone call, all right? Haunted house jump scare, disappointing. That's not a jump scare. Okay, then after that, they funnel you into this tight space because tight spaces are supposed to be very scary. And I've studied haunted houses, people, as one does. And, there's all these psychological benchmarks you want to hit as you have people progress through your haunted house. So tight spaces is a big trigger for a lot of people. These people have not raised children. And I'm going to tell you why. Being in some tight space that I'm walking out of, no, that's not scary. Because any parent that has been trapped on an airplane with their children, okay? I remember back to a trip where I was, of course, in the middle seat. I had a kid on either side. So I could, take care of their needs. and the plane was delayed. They get us on the plane. We can't take off, sit on the tarmac for 2 freaking hours. Then we take off, and then they're like, uh-oh, it's too bad. Turn around, land, sit on a plane. So I can sit on a plane with I believe, a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old for almost 10 hours. Then by God, walking through a tight space in a haunted house, piece of cake, piece of cake. If you want to hear scary, it's trapped on a plane with your kids sitting on a tarmac. There's really thank God I packed snacks. I mean, all that kind of stuff. The bathrooms are starting to smell. I mean, that was scary, okay? That's scary. This, not so much. Then they bring you into total darkness with eerie, eerie sounds. I'm a person who now likes total darkness because that's where I can have like a little gift of privacy. It's totally dark. Okay, I can just sit there with my thoughts, okay? Take a moment. I mean, when you're a parent, you have no privacy. If you're a mom, no privacy. I still don't think I have any bathroom privacy because I go into the bathroom, dog and cat come with me. Dog comes first and the cat's like, I guess I'll go in there too. It's like, come on, get out. So a dark space sounds delightful to me. Totally not scary. Then they do the sudden loud noises with like strobe lights and all that kind of stuff. Again, please, people. Sudden loud noises. You know what a parent has been through with sudden loud. First you step on a Lego, okay, and then like you scream. So that's your own sudden loud noise. But you've got kids screaming, dogs barking, like out of nowhere, a blood curdling scream from a child, thinking, "Oh my God," or like, "What happened?" No, some goofball, somebody dressed as Doctor like Death or something, screaming. No. But good vocal projection for him who did that. That was great. And then you have screaming. Just, from sudden loud to screaming. Again, as someone who's raised children, do you know how much screaming I have endured? Okay. Sibling fights, me screaming. My husband never screams. He never screams. I just thought he does not scream. Like ever. He has raised a voice. I've never heard him scream. So interesting. I have to ponder that. But you've heard so much screaming. So it's like, what's this? What's this? Some like girl dressed like half zombie, half human screaming. Keep on moving. Because like I said, amateur hour. So then I wanted to like reach out to the owners of these haunted houses and say, perhaps you should have another kind of haunted house if you want to scare anybody 50 and over. This is the haunted house for 50 and over. If you want to scare me, this is what the haunted house should be. Are you ready? You should have what I'm going to call the, is it a heart attack or did I just tweak a muscle hall of doom? I'm not kidding you. Like last week, my chest like really, really hurt. I'm like, what is it? Like, am I having a heart attack? Even like found my husband. I go, I want you to know, if I have a heart attack, this is what you're telling the doctor. At 9:05 a.m., my wife expressed to me that she was having chest pains. And he's like, you're not having a heart attack. He goes, it's like, explain it to me. He's like, that's not a heart attack. And he goes, but if you want to check it out, let's go check it out. So then I started running through like what I had done like the last couple of days. And then I remember that like Pilates, we were doing like really hard stuff and having to like hold planks for like 3 minutes and then lift a bunch of stuff. I'm like, oh, that may be why my chest hurts a little bit. And indeed it was. But everything is like, is that a heart attack? Pull a muscle, not even near my heart. Is that a heart attack? Yeah. So if you want to scare me, take me to the, is it a pulled muscle or a heart attack? Hall of Doom. That's scary. Next, oh God. And this is not funny, y'all. This is not funny. This is so scary when you have lived through this. And now we're living through it with my mother-in-law. She's in her 90s, people. She still lives by herself. We would like her not to because she's 90-ish. She's older than 90. But anywho, is the aging parents' house of horror. There is nothing scarier than navigating aging with your parents, especially if your parents have not planned for it. That is frightening. Very, very, very scary. So that'll get you. That's, tight space, who cares? Screaming, who cares? Sudden loud noise, who cares? This, aging parents, that's really, really, really scary. Then you go into the tunnel, the college tuition tunnel, where you're just topsy-turvy all the time as the tuition goes up. What else is due? This is tuition. Books go up. Oh my God, they joined a sorority. More expense. And you're just going round and round and round with more and more expenses. And you're like, oh my God, you're dizzy. You're dizzy. Because you see your financial, finances going, whoop, circling the drain, people. Circling the drain. You're scared. And then, you know what? This haunted house for people over 50, the grand finale would be the retirement roller coaster. Stocks are up, stocks are up, stocks are up. Oh, you're right. Whoa, stock market's down. You plunge. Oh, they're going up a little bit. They're going up a little bit down. Yeah, the retirement roller coaster. That's awesome. That would be really, really scary. This other stuff, your zombies, your devils, your ghosts, your mummies. Like I said, amateur hour. Anybody over 50, this is the stuff that scares them. That other stuff, not so much. So I wonder if they'll take a meeting if I reach out via email. Something tells me I don't think so, because I think people age 50 and over do not want to get in their car, drive down to a warehouse district, park their car in a shady part of town, spend upwards of $75 for a ticket to get into a haunted house. No, they don't want to do that. So I don't know if maybe I should send that email. But anyways, it was crazy. And doing all the fall things. The corn maze, cider, apple picking, and now the haunted house. I'm good. I'm good with all that stuff. I don't know. Maybe forever. Something tells me, though, I'll be revisiting it. Because I'll have grandkids. I won't take a grandkid to a haunted house. But, you take your grandkid to a corn maze and, God, you got to go to the cider mill and apple picking. You got to do it. It's rite of passage. And I'm sure with grandkids and seeing all that through their eyes, I'll have the best time ever. I'm positive about that. Okay, you guys, that is it. I'm not going to talk about my books anymore. I'm kidding. Of course I am. Quickly, if you've heard me talk about my books, they're fabulous. Empty could be my favorite. Shh, don't tell my other books. Check it out in my show description. There's a link. Click on that. I'll take you to all my books. And you know what? You don't have to buy a book. But if you're like, maybe I'll listen to a little bit of it on Amazon, on the Audible for free. Maybe I'll read a little bit for free just to find out what it's all about. Do that. That would make me very happy, because then I know you'll want to buy a book. Also, holiday season, people, gift yourself a book. Come on. Who doesn't want to do that? Also, if you are watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're not watching on YouTube and you're listening, go to YouTube and like and subscribe. Thank you for everybody leaving the comments. Thank you for everybody that subscribed on Spotify so they quit mean girling me. It hurt. It hurt my feelings. And all the people that, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, what's the other one? TikTok. Thank you so much for doing that. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And I appreciate everyone's really kind comments and supportive comments. You guys are great. I don't deserve it. I do not deserve it. But I will say the Snarky community, strong community. And everybody that leaves really thoughtful comments, I kind of think, okay, I can be full of myself. We're making a difference. I mean, your comments are so good that I know that you're impacting people's lives when they reach out for advice. So thank you for that. Now go out there, have a very happy Halloween. Have a fabulous day, because like I always say, the Snarky Squad deserves fabulosity, right?